Hello, good evening, and welcome to Sandra's Sunday Stamper with Sandra. A bit of a tongue twister, that really, isn't it? Okay, so tonight we will be playing with a bubble wrap. It's a technique that I really love doing. I've done on several different mediums. Just getting these across. I've got a sample out here to show you. Hopefully somebody will jump on and join me live in a second. So, just going to get you down onto the table, and tomorrow is National Bubble Wrap Appreciation Day. So I will be putting a post up tomorrow about that. So I thought this was the closest Sunday to that, so I'm going to be doing some bubble wrap work. This is all about recycling. I'm going to move you across now. All about recycling, and how many of us love to sit here and pop these bubbles? Hi Shaz, lovely to see you. So these bubbles, listen. Why do we do them? Okay, why do we do them? Anyway, I do recycle my bubble wrap. First thing you've got to think about is you don't really want that corner that's been squashed and burst. You kind of want some nice bubbles. Doesn't matter if they aren't perfect. So yes, you can use small pieces of this, really doesn't matter. But I do recycle, so you get all sorts of sizes, all sorts of pieces. Sometimes when parcels have been wrapped, they have, some of them are squashed for you. So I try to get as many as I can whole. Now this is a bag. So the bags, actually, you can cut the sides off these and actually have sheets of bubble wrap. Okay, so you can use that on the inside there. And this is a smaller size. I will show you this one because it's a little bit different. That's another small one. Again, another bag. So I save these. I'll cut off the edges. I don't know how you get in this one. In here. And the bubbles are either the inside or the outside of this one. So that's another small one. So we'll try a different design later with that. And then this is an older piece. Just play with it. And then lastly, a couple of pieces there. But this was a bag as well. So this was something I got from Amazon Prime. Hello, Anne. Nice to see you. This and Carol, sorry, I missed you, Carol. This was an Amazon Prime bag, but on the inside, if you look at the inside, you have got this kind of raised texture. This is a bit different. It's not full bubbles, but we'll see. I'm just going to play with textures tonight. I'm not making a full card necessarily, but just want you to see different textures and how to create them. This is a good one because it's got a stiffer backing, so I'll start with that piece. Okay, but just wanted to show you how, just save everything and play with it. Okay, so to do our messy work, I'm going to bring in one of my laminated grid sheets. Hello Adele, all the way from America. I'm going to bring in one of my laminated grid sheets. You might get a bit of a shine off this one. It's not a matte one, it is a shiny one. So I'm going to... How did you get in, missus? Just had a cat join me, sorry, and I shut the door. Are you going to say hello? No, not today. I'll just look at you. So laminated grid sheets are great. You want a messy mat. You don't want to do it on a cutting mat at all. I always turn these over. So this can take any amount of abuse. And then you can just simply wipe it. And we need a bottle, a spray bottle with some water in it. So this is just recycling again. This is an old Body Shop bottle that had some product in it. You need something that's going to be quite a fine spray. Stampin' Up! Do have the little tiny spritzers. They would work well, but they do tend to come out a little bit heavier. I tend to keep this water one because it's a really fine mist. I'm not going to be able to show you on camera, but believe me, if you spray it into the air, it is so fine. It's just going to give you that little bit of wet without being too much. So what I'm going to start with, I'm just going to cut up some thick basic white. I'm going to cut up a couple of sheets here. Well, it's a good way of using up pieces as well. So if you have, that might actually, I'm going to cut this into quarter panels. So just your standard quarter sizes. You can always trim it down and get the piece out of the middle that you actually want to use. But it's a good kind of size to start with. So this is the 10.5 this way for A4 and 14.85 over here. You know my little red dots. So if it's not exactly the right size that you want, you can just leave it. and cut it down later. That will go back in my packet nice and clean. That's about right. This is probably half a sheet. Yeah, near enough. So I'm just going to chop that in half. So we've got some pieces there just to show you some different effects. Okey-doke. So how we're going to start. Oh, more people joining. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you. So we've got different ways of doing this. It might get messy. I will get messy hands, I'm sure. But I have some kitchen paper here ready to go. So I'm going to pull in a load of ink pads that I have over here from my last crafting session. And these were the ones, actually the ones I used last week, with a bit of Blackberry Bliss instead. So like juggling dice here. So if I start off with a couple of colours, do something a little bit, I will use those three to start with. So we can start off, we can use ink pads as they are. Just gonna bring you in a little bit more, just excuse my hand. So you can get right down onto the table. So I'm gonna use ink pads, and you can use these as they are, and you can just splodge. So you can just literally tap these down like so. This one needs re-inking as well. I've got a few that need that. And you can just go along with your different colours. Try not to, I think these might have been left open. Okay, just getting a little bit of colour coming there through there, but trying not to do too much with the contamination. So you're just touching it. That one's a bit stronger. Okay, so just a few bits of colour. So I will do this one first, and then I'll show you with the reinkers and how I store my reinkers as well. So with the spritz spray now, I'm just going to wet this and let those colours, it is just misting, and let those colours start to mingle a little bit. So if I take a small piece of the bubble wrap here, I've got the bubble side downwards, and I said I'm starting off with quite a stiff piece on the back here. It's a bit stronger than some of them. So I'm going to just mooch this onto the papers, like so. And it's mixing those up a little bit. And then when you're ready, you're going to stamp this onto a piece of card. Now, if I'd thought about this carefully, I might have actually got in another piece of laminate. So I'm just going to press this down on here just to give you the first impression. Okay, and I'm just smoothing it out and lifting it up. Now remember, that's not really terribly exciting at the moment, but that will create you a nice pattern. You've got your darks and your lights. You can go back in and do it again. Okay, but what I'm going to do now is change up those colours slightly. For the colours we used Fresh Freesia, which is out elsewhere. So I will go with Gorgeous Grape. No, Highland Heather. We'll have some of that to bring in. So this is a little bit more concentrated, so you'll get darker colours. So where I went in with Freesia, I'm going to substitute that with Highland Heather. Okay, pop that one back where it went. I'm going to show you how I store my Reinkers before I carry on. So I'm coming in this one because I'm going to have Calypso Coral, which is the next pot over. I think that's Calypso. These trays here, if I turn them on their side, you might recognise them. You're not late, Debbie, don't worry. Nice that you could join me. So yes, it is fun. I love getting messy. I love doing messy techniques. So these little trays, if I turn them on the side, some of you know I do nails as well, just mainly for myself and friends. I'm qualified, I could do it, but I don't tend to. But a friend found me these little trays, and these are actually for nail varnish. So you can store your nail varnishes in. There's a slope on the side here, but our bottles just fit in there absolutely perfectly. So all I'll say is look out for them in your makeup section. Try in places like the cheaper places. These came from a discount warehouse many, many years ago. So you wouldn't get them from there probably now. It was a long, long while ago. And I did snap them up because my friend found them and they were £1 each. I have since seen them in more recent years in TK Maxx, I believe, and they were £8.99. So kind of search around. Even I haven't checked Amazon because I've got so many of them. I've got enough that I need. but do look out for them. They sit in the Kallax, the IKEA, the drawers that go in the Kallax drawers. So if any of you are interested more, just message me and I can take photos of how they're stored in the drawers. But they all line up like little soldiers like this, and then one across the front and back. So they do work really, really well. And you can see from all the colours I get in, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 12 in each caddy, so 12 different shades. So they work really well. I just took them out there just to, for tonight. Okay, I'm just going to grab some other colours here. I've got Calypso Coral. This one was a little bit stronger, so, but I'm just going to make this a little bit darker where the Calypso was. Now, one other thing I want to point out is that the more you do these, the muddier the colours will become. So we have got Soft Succulent there. I am just going to grab that one because I do kind of want that shade. It's just on the shelf. All my in colours are together, just over the back. I'll leave the new ones. I have a little box here that I'd had the current ones in. So I do leave these out and I'll re-ink my ink pads after this. So just putting some more dobs on here. Okay, just a few. Goes an awful long way. This is why I say when you buy your ink pads, if you have favourite colours that you love, so say like the Soft Succulent, if you have a favourite colour, it's really advisable to get the re-inker with it at the same time. You can refill marker pens with this, not the alcohol ones, just the marker ones, the water-based ones. Okay, but you can do a lot of inky techniques. And I think following on from this, I think I'd better do the shaving foam for you. Okay, that's another fun one. So I'm just going to moisten this down a little bit and you'll see how the colours come stronger when you have the re-inkers over the ink pads. Okay, so that's just one thing I just wanted to point out the difference between the two. Some of these will need re-inking a little bit, so that will help a little bit. So I'm going to come in on here and I'm just going to tap down. I'll try not to muddy them too much, but I want to get that colour running, okay, on here. So then I'm going to bring another piece of card in. I'm just going to borrow the side of this, okay, and then just lay them on here. I haven't gone all the way to the ends. I won't move it, I'll just smooch that along. As I said, this one is quite nice because it's got a stronger backing on it. There you go, and I lift that off and look at the colours on there. You can see these ones where they've started to muddy up, where the colours have merged in together, but you've still got the bright oranges over here. Okay, but that for a background is absolutely brilliant. If you wanted to, you could just leave those white pieces, or you can hold a piece of the corner and come in and think, right, along the bottom here, what would I like? I'd like a little bit more of the purple colours. So I'm going to tap on here, get a little bit more of the purple and just touch that on the edge here. A little bit more there and come on this corner. You do kind of want to protect your work surface. I would normally have had a little bit extra on here. Just wipe that off. Okay, so I'm kind of filling in some of those gaps and you can see where those edges go. If you had a heat gun, you could just dry those little tiny corners off there. But that's kind of showing you how it can look. Okay, you've got nearly a honeycomb, but they're dots. And that you can theme them to projects. The only thing is not to do too much in one go because you can see how the colours will muddy. Okay, so that's with that one. I'm going to just wipe this down, move that out of the way. And with wet wipes, you can actually take the lid off. Okay, if you take a wet wipe, you can actually clean the bubble wrap. If you have a piece like this that's really strong backing and you think I want to use that one again, you can just wipe that, okay, and that will just take it all off, dry it off on the other side, and you can just use that again. So that's a piece that, yeah, maybe you want to keep. Some of the other ones that if you've recycled, they're not always as good as you might want to keep. So hope that makes sense. So I have some pieces here. I'm just going to wipe this off as well down the side. Okay. And what else can we do with this? Without trying to get too messy on here, I'm going to try one more piece. this, the mini one. We'll try that. I'll grab a piece of pair of scissors. So this is a bag, remember, and I'm just going to take off these edges. Push that out of the way. Don't get ink on it. Just going to take off these edge pieces all the way around. Okay. And then up the other side of the bag. You can see me doing that, can't you? I'm going to take off these ends as well because there's a bit of tape on the top there. Don't want that in the way. Okay, take that off. Bin. And then this piece across the end. You've got kind of got the ends of the bag. So much packaging these days. I will dispose of that sensibly. Take one of these pieces. You don't want both pieces. And then I would turn that inside out and slide that down the middle. Okay, so what do we do when we get a flimsier piece? Okay. Just going to see whether I can find a little scrap in here. That will do nicely. So something like this, if you want to protect your fingers a little bit, grab any old scrap of card. Okay. I seem to have a slight jet lag on here tonight. If I move my hands, is there just a slight delay on there? This is a Sandra-ism, this one. If you've got a piece that's a bit more flimsy and you want something to get hold of on here, I would just take, my tape runner is away from my desk. So, not in eyesight. So I'm just going to take a piece of tape and stick that along here. So top and bottom, any old scrap, it doesn't have to be tidy at all. So just take that off, take off your backings. Okay, and you've made yourself a little handle. Okay, so I would just turn that edge over, sandwich that in there. So top and bottom, you've actually got a handle to get hold of. So as you're putting in the muddied liquids, then you're going to get that just something you can lift off and pick up with a clean hand. Okay, because this is starting to muddy up as they're running, I am just going to clean those off and start this again. Okay, because I'm talking in between. There we go. A little squish of water. Okay, the other one I want to point out, if you haven't heard of isopropanol alcohol, you kind of need that in your stamping supplies as well. This one is a 99% proof. Some work better than others. The 70% is a lesser grade, but it's brilliant for cleaning anything. I clean my blocks with it. I shine those up, clean the inks off those. When my trimmer has got ink on it. Any surfaces, I wouldn't use it directly on the paper, but certainly when you get really bad stains on here, laminate, I'd just spray it and wipe it with kitchen paper. So that works really well if you think it's staining anything. So what else have I got here? I have got some colours, some paper colours here. Somebody at the door letting the cat in. Bless her. So I have got to move the wet wipes now. I've got some colours. Hello. She's saying hello, everybody. Need a bit of a green with that one. These are some cardstocks that I've been playing with today for a tutorial I've been doing. So I'm just going to pull those ones out if I can locate them quickly. Hello. I think she's saying I want my treats. Mango, and Old Olive. Looks like that one, doesn't it? Old Olive. Old Olive. So there's my 3 Reinkers that match those colours. Just because I've got some on the table to work with. So I'm going to try and do a smaller area. The ink pads are obviously harder to get in a small confined space. So just put a few drops down on their own. When the colours come out, you will find that they all look dark, black, whatever. And you want to space them out a little bit. She's being very naughty, guys. There's not really room for us to sit. Treat time, yes, Shaz. Except the treats are the other side of the table, exactly where she's gone and sat. She knows exactly where they are. Oh, she's jumping off now. She knows exactly where they are, and when friends come and visit, she will sit on that side of the table and point her nose at the treat tub, and then she'll meow, look at them, meow, and look at the treats. So she's basically saying, that's what I want. Here they are, don't forget me. So look at those colours, how they're coming out. The spritz of the water, the really fine spray, is making them intermingle. Okay, so I've got another piece of card ready. And these little bubbles on here, these are a much smaller one, much finer. So I'm going to just tap on here. It is messy fun. Okay, a couple of times. Because I've kept it to a smaller area, I've got space here. These are A3 mats. This is grid paper that Stampin' Up! Sell. And I can get that for you if you're interested in having some for your working. You get 100 sheets in the pack. It's on a glued together pad. So just laid that down. Look at those colours. Aren't they gorgeous? I like the smaller bubbles. Okay, so now I'm going to go in without trying not to muddy them too much, and I will just pick some up, wipe it off, and then put some more down. So we're making our own coloured backgrounds. Okay. Again, it's just hard to not muddy up those colours. I'm going to turn this one round a little bit and come this corner. There we go. Put that upright so I don't mess it up everywhere. And look at those. Beautiful colours. Absolutely beautiful. I just love the textures that you can get on here. It is a little bit damp on here, so I'm just going to lay that to the back of the table there so that we can see it. Now I would just wipe these around the side so I've got my places to rest on. Okay. Wipe those out. This is still usable. What is messing it up is this piece here, that it's tending to muddy them up in different places. You pick it up clean. So I'm just going to dab that off, wipe it with a wet wipe. Okay, get the worst off. We have another piece just to dry it on. Okay, and we can start again. Unfortunately, I don't like to lean onto kitchen paper because it makes it a little bit uneven surface. So I've just cleaned this up and I can go back in again, spread some on there and spread it on my card and off. Okay, it will start getting paler as you go through. You can see from the original one to the darker one. As it gets like second generation really, it will just start going down in different stages. Okay, so then you start putting some more. I'm going to put some more on this piece here. You can see my handle is letting me pick it up, and as I lifted it I'm getting a little bit of ink on there. So we will just use up what we've got here. Okay, I'll pick some more of that up. It's getting a little bit dry now, and lift it up. So you can see as it gets less and less, you can just do those edges on the paper there. Okay, it's not a perfection one. If you're a perfectionist, it's not for you, honest. I'm trying to not waste ink because I'm not really got a set project for this. I just wanted to show you the technique tonight and just press it down like so. So there's another finished piece. Now don't worry if you get pieces like this where there's an edge, there's a line through there. Now I would mount that onto a piece of card. In fact, I might get some card bases together and prep some pieces, and then they can be decorated at any time in the future. Okay, so I will clean down now. I'll take these, turn it inside out, and just wipe that. Okay, rid of that, the clean wet wipe. Okay, these are all water-based inks, so you can clean up nicely after it. I just recommend something like this. If you've got a laminator, let's say it's just a big A3 piece of paper. Okay, it's really easy to clean. So that's those. I'll leave that to one side. I can clean that up later. This one I haven't played with yet, but you can't really tell on the camera. I think we're going to struggle with this one a little bit more. It's not so much bubbles, it's flat. So I will play with that before I discard it. it's worth having a go with, but it won't be as nice as those others. The small bubbles were definitely better. I do like those. So just going to cut these pieces up and show you how they can then coordinate with those card colours that I had here. So remember, these were the colours and these were these two pieces. Okay, so they're nice like autumnal colours really, and I'll show you how you can cover a piece like that. So let's just cut a base card in each one. Okay, bring my trimmer back on and get rid of that. If I look to the back of my packets in here, you know I keep a spare. If I cut two pieces, I keep a spare. So if there is one in the back here, that's good, save me some time. Doesn't matter which way they open. This is on the front is a single layer. On the back I don't have any full ones, so I will just make a quick one. So if I just cut that and score it in half, using my little dots on here for 10.5 and 14.85. So there's 3 full cards, and then I'll end up with 3 panels, I hope. Whole. What's that? Would you believe she's trying to get on that chair where I've just put that cardstock? Bring that one out as well. So I am just trying to show you some ways how I attack things like this. Okay. So once we've got a panel of each colour, it's a good way of colour mixing, and if I do any challenges that are a colour challenge, this is one of the ways I start. Nearly got a trimmer on her head. One of the ways that I start off with a colour challenge, so I've got a whole card and a sheet. A whole card, that's the 10th one, and a sheet, but I happen to find a piece of brick in there as well. And then I have a whole sheet, a whole card and a sheet. Okay, of course they're going to have white with them. Burnish that a little bit more. So now you can start mixing and matching. You can see what colours you have in your piece here, which is predominant, and what you'd like to see them lay on. So you can say, right, do I like that with that colour underneath? If I just show you some of the incorporations that you could do, take those out of the way so it doesn't distract. So here I have Old Olive with the mango in between, but I kind of like the brown, the Cajun craze. So look at that and just see how the different colours pop differently. Okay, and then we could say, well, actually, let's try that with the middle layer of the green. And that's how I like to decide as to, you'll find your eye. What do the dots mean? The dots don't mean anything. The dots are the piece of bubble wrap that we made the inky piece from. Linda, did you see that at the beginning? Okay, so these were smaller dots on here. And normal bubble wrap is a bigger dot. The pieces I used first of all, these colours. But I prefer these colours have come out better with the Reinkers. These have muddied a bit because I was talking too much. Sorry, I've missed some of the columns, the comments. There's lots of comments on here. Hi, guys. She knows, yeah, smudge. What is the sheet you're working? The sheet, Linda, was a laminated grid sheet. This is a special one we had for convention when we did conventions online during lockdown. They gave us a few sheets of a speciality one, I believe. Oh, this might have been a promotional one, I can't remember. But we do have the plain grid mats, a pack of 100, and I just laminate them. If anybody hasn't got an A3 laminator and you're local, then by all means you can stop by and I will laminate. I just charge you for the cost of the laminating sheet. So they're you know, I can do them for anybody, it's not a problem. Or it shows, if you know you're going to see me somewhere, then just ask me to bring one. Okay, so just trying to show you the different combinations here. Whether you think, right, actually, those two together is a bit wishy-washy. I'd like a stronger colour. So I can have a stronger colour that way and then stick it onto a green maybe. There's not much green in here, but that one brings out that green, but it's close to the browns. So you can mix and match your colours. It's a bit strange I've ended up with the same colours there, isn't it? Okay, there's a bit more mango in here, so let's try holding that against the mango card. and see which way we like that. So you can just alternate your pieces round, just showing you how you can choose colours for your projects. Okay. Yes, Julie, save that bubble wrap and don't pop the bubbles. Oh, sorry, the dots are my trimmer. Sorry, I've just caught up with you. Yes. Okay. I've got a little, I'll bring it up to the camera. You might be able to see it. I have a little tiny red dot there, is 14.85, and I have a tiny red dot there, which is 10.5. All they are is from a Sharpie, a red Sharpie pen. I'll make them a little bit bigger. So I've just put that, so my instant go-to points on my trimmer. Okay, so they're a little bit stronger now, so you can see them when I'm cutting. Yeah, so that is half a sheet of card. The 14.85 one here, they should have dried by now, is half a sheet this way. So the long length in half, and then the 10.5 is the half a sheet that way. So you pop it on there and you cut. It just saves, some people forget the measurements. Okay, so I just go around when I have classes here. I go around and I put a red Sharpie dot on their trimmers. So they know that's half one way, that's half the other. If you're cutting on one and you're scoring on the other, or you're scoring on that one and cutting on this one, it makes no difference. It's just which way around you're cutting your card. Okay, just saves you having to remember. Okay, so these pieces here, you can see I've mixed and matched different combinations. Okay, I wasn't planning on making a whole sheet, a whole card today. I've got nothing in mind for these particular colours, unless I can grab something rather quickly. Not really. I might be able to actually, just a sec. That one. This is one of the characters from the Playing in the Rain. That's a suite that I've been playing with today. Just writing a tutorial. Now I could use this on one of these, and I have some dies here. Again, the other side of the table, excuse me. If I cut a quick piece on here, I could make a card. If you're not in a hurry to run away, then I will happy to entertain a bit longer. So I will cut a piece of white here. This is just a die that I had loose on the desk. Okay, it was more about showing you messy techniques tonight. We'll do shaving foam, put that on your agenda, and we will do shaving foam another day. Okay, so cut that nearer to size. Then there's with the dots, the colours you have here, there's always white as well to consider in your equation. I think you might, no, you didn't know, it's okay. The reason I had these colours out was because I was using these characters. So I can make something from this. Just a case of which colour combination we kind of want to go with. I do like this as the base. Someone's being a little bit indignant, isn't she? I think I am going to go back to that one. So let's just rustle up a quick little card with that one. Okay, pop them out of the way. So we have a matte layer. We're going to just trim that one down to size. And when we're cutting on layers, we can go in 1/2 centimetre or a whole centimetre in from the edges. Depends on how much we want to see of the outside edge. So I'm taking half off today. And it doesn't have to be 1/2 centimetre on each layer. It can be a bigger gap. So that could be one going on there. And then this one we could bring down 1 centimetre down. My bottles are falling over. So let's decide which piece we want to trim. So I think I'm going to trim that one down because there's a big piece of white there. So I will make that at 0.3, 13.3. Going to give this a go. It's messy. I like messy. I am a messy person. I'm just laughing because my cats are doing a double act at the moment. I have Tiggs on the other side of the door opening it for Smudge. So she's gone out and he's come in. Is that typical? Animals, hey? Yeah, well, let's see what he's going to do now. So I've cut this one 1 centimetre down, so I've got a bigger board around that one. top and bottom. I need to take another little piece off here. Okay, just playing games, playing messy fun. Okay, so I'm going to pop that one in the side there. Okay, we'll glue these down. I won't gut them today. For not having anything in the pipeline, it's this one. But bubble wrap is well worth having a go with. We've all got Reinkers, probably. Well, mostly have Reinkers, but we certainly all have ink pads. So if you've got nice juicy ink pads, just tap them along your... picking up the dead one here. Just try them, just tapping them onto directly onto a piece of plastic or laminate. You can use other... if you've got a piece of acetate from something, if you've got tell you what I've used in the past, calendars. When you get to December, if you've got any calendars that are left over from last year, sometimes you get a front and a back, and if you've got a large piece of plastic, that's all it is. You just want it to be wipeable, so you can actually just wipe across the surface. Now this has got a piece through the middle here. It does give it character. It's not a problem, it does give it character, but I want to put something just across there. So the colour we didn't use was the mango. It might work, it might not, so I'm just going to get a little banner, a little scrap, and see if that's going to work. Just cutting that through the middle there as to whether we like it. I'm going to pop this piece over the top to one side maybe. Don't like that with those colours. It's not the right colour unless it goes underneath. And bring that brown through, the Cajun Craze. So it might be that we wanted to put a little piece of this and some of this a little bit narrower coming through there, just to give another little hint of that. I think that might work. I want this to be a bit thinner. I didn't get out my small trimmer today. This is going to be fun. Okay, so I've got that straight. Not quite as thin as that. I'll take off 1/2 centimetre. Just hoping that it doesn't move. So that piece coming through the middle there. Could that work, or would we prefer the green? I think it's going to be okay. So now I'm going to cut those two pieces to 10.5, so they go the width of the card. So 10.5, take that piece in the bin, and 10.5. They're both going the whole width of the card. Anchor those two together. And tweezers. I don't know where I put my tweezers. I think they're buried the other side of the table where I've been working. Okay, just pop that through the middle, holding it firmly so you've got a nice even border top and bottom. There we go. And I'm going to pop that through the middle there. It doesn't have to cover all of that. It's just giving it a little bit of character. Throw that one away. Keep picking up the dead one. See how Sandra's lost without her tweezers. So I'm going to line this up straight on my mat, and I'm just going to go through where I need that to be. So I'm going through on that line there, and I will line it up with that line over this side so that I know I have it straight. It's where the grid mats do really come in handy. So we sell them in the 100 in a pack, the plain ones, but the inches on one side, centimetres on the other. So this little character could just go on there, like so. Pop him through there like that if we wanted. Pop him on there, and then have the greeting out to the side. Okay, I had one somewhere. Oh, happy day. Whenever I see the words on here, I want to just sing out the song from Sister Act. They have been out in use, so I'm going to have to use something else. It's buried somewhere the other side under all my work. So I'm going to pull this one off. This was off another set. This is the cats that I used the other week. Did you see me using the cats? Best day. Lovely set, but it's got a cute little happy birthday in there. So that's what this one was out for. So I'm going to use the black ink pad. I'm all disjointed today because I wasn't actually going to make a card. Everything is hidden. There we go. So I'm going to lay this on here and see if I can fit him on here as well as the greeting. So I want this to fit on here. He can hang off the side, he's good, but this has got to go in that smaller gap. So hey, this is going to be fun, isn't it? Unplanned. You're testing me now. So if I laid it on my grid mat, I'd be able to go straight with the lines. It's going to go just in there. No pressure. Okay, that's the greeting. And then he can sit on there like so, and he can sit under there. So, like I say, not planned what I was going to do for a card. It was just showing you the background. I retrieved my tweezers from over there as well. Okay, and we need one in the middle just to support him. Get these down. Look at textures. It's basically just encouraging you to look at things. I'm all for recycling. I love recycling and I hate waste. So if you can use a texture or something that you were going to just throw away, it's just going to go into landfill. Why not give it a go and say, hey, how can I use this in my crafting? Okay, he's going to have some dimensions on here as well. And as I'm just getting to the end of this sheet, I'm going to cut some of the little pieces from the sides here. We use every little piece of these. Okay, so I'm going to put, they're just the right size for his ears. So one on each ear. There we go. Pick him up, and then we're going to just lay him on there like so. Now, you might not be able to see on camera. Just zoom you in a little bit. There's a little tiny dot there of black. Okay, and I want to cover him up. So what I'm going to do is make his toe cover that little spot. Okay, so he's actually dancing. And his foot is covering up the little dot that was there. Okay, that's just showing you basically how you can just play about with things, really. There are other characters in that set. There is actually... Just grab my tweezers. Sorry about leaning across the camera. This is another little cutie in the same set, and he's green, the old olive, so he would actually work sitting on there like so. So I think I'm going to stick his ear down flat, and then I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals on the rest of his body and use him up as well. You see, even card making, it's just thinking outside the box with what materials you have to play with. So this is the ear that needs glue. So this ear and his body are going to have the other pieces. And they're back. Notice I'm keeping my finger on here just where I want to remember where I'm putting the Tombow in a second. So Tombow's on this ear. Okay. Okay, so his ear's going to be on there, and he's just going to be doing a little dance down here as well. Okay, making sure that this ear is inside the envelope. Okay, for not having anything planned for the card, it's not bad just pulling those pieces together. Just coincidence that I was using those colours today. So we'll clear that and we'll grab some gems, I think. Oh dear, 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 dear. I have both cats in here, both sitting on a different table. At least they're quiet. So I'm going to use the champagne rhinestones because they're going to go with this colourway. And I'm just going to take a few little ones off and put them on the side there. So I'll put 3 there. 1, 2, and 3. Another thing I like about my hockey tweezers here is that when you put them down, you're actually keeping that hockey stick in line to make sure they're lined up. Okay, they go in that box. So we ended up with a cute little card, and all it is, it's just showing you the backgrounds. Okay, so just some textures on here and how to make up different things using your recycling. So I hope you like that. There will be other things coming along with textures like this. Like I say, the other one I really love to do is the shaving foam, and that's using Reinkers as well. That's messy fun. It's clean but messy, but it's good fun. Okay, so I hope you like those. You're going to just bring you back to me. Oh, we'll take that off. Pop you back on there. There we go. Now you have me back. So thanks for joining me tonight, and remember that tomorrow is BubbleWrap Appreciation Day. Okay, thanks Carol, pleased you liked it. It's just something different to do for textures on your backgrounds. I save all sorts of little bits and pieces, more for the mixed media side. I do use this a lot on canvases, works lovely on canvases, so it might be I do a quick canvas with you. We might have actually done some a while back, the little tiny canvases. I know we did it for a retreat project and it worked really well with the blues and the snowflakes, so that was really good. But just think outside the box, have a play with something. If you see something, try it. Okay, so take care, stay safe, and don't forget it's still Celebration. We're coming to the end of January, but it's running all through February as well. And the little baby big shots I was using earlier, the little cutting machine, is available as a sign up. If you want to join Stampin' Up and enjoy a discount like we do, then you can. You don't have to do it as a business like I do. You can be as a hobby demo, and it actually works out that you're getting the cutting machine for about half price because of all the benefits you get on top. I will put some things together with regard to the prices for the next live, so you can see that. But yes, it's a terrific value sign-up deal. If you want to join Stampin' Up, you can get £170 worth of product for just £99 and no postage or anything with that. And if you pay £125, you can choose the big shot, the mini cut and emboss machine, either in the white that I was using tonight, or in the new boho blue that's coming out as one of the new in colours. Okay, if you want to know more about that, please let me know, but fantastic deal if you're interested. Okay, so take care, stay safe. Thanks Debbie, thanks everybody who's commented, and look forward to seeing you again next time. Sorry I wasn't around Wednesday, we had guests and we did a Burns night, so that we were out of action. Oh, well done Linda, glad you found your catalogue. And hi Julie as well there. Okay, so take care, and I'll see you all again soon. Any requests, remember, just send me a message if there's something you particularly would like to see, or a particular fold or technique or something. I'm always open to offers, and I have a little list going to building when I can. Okay,